So, I'm going to be trying to show people how to go from playing on normal and hard difficulty, being able to consistently beat at least the main 4 songs, and most likely a few more, on Expert Plus. So, the first things you're definitely going to want to do is make sure you play the tutorial. The tutorial is very important, it actually tells you how to play the game. I've let people play this game before without knowing that the tutorial can be replayed by just pressing help, and then it says play tutorial, and they had pretty much no idea how to play the game. We had to completely explain it to them as they were like hitting down arrows to the left. So make sure you play the tutorial. And also, if you're brand new to the game, play the campaign a bit. I haven't played it completely, because, well, I have played a decent amount of it. I think I got up to about this level, but it doesn't say it on here because my game's been reset a few times due to trying to mod it on the Quest, updates, factory resets on my headset, some reason happening. Yeah. Next thing you're gonna do is in settings, you're gonna want to go into controllers and find an offset that is good for you. This can change based on what you're good at. If you're having trouble, like, accidentally crossing over to the next note and hitting the note, like I've been doing a lot, like, let's say there's a red and the blue note directly next to each other, and you accidentally hit the blue note with the red saber before your blue saber hits it, and you'll miss a note. If that happens, you might want to lower your Z position, and this is all in my settings is what I like. This is what I'm going to be using. I don't know why it was on 1. But this is what I'm going to be using because I do tend to have that problem. And this is for the Quest. Or the Quest 2. This is what everything I'm using. I think it's in others or audio. Yes, audio. If you're feeling like the audio isn't synced to the notes, just toggle on override audio latency, and you can set the delay. Basically, when this is on, there will be a circle or a dot going back and forth, and every time it hits the edge is when you should hear that beat. I think it should automatically do it for some people, but because mine was automatically on 90 milliseconds, that might just be the default. I haven't checked, but make sure this is right. And that's about it for those settings. Going into solo, don't really worry about the modifiers. Environments, you can choose a specific one. I'm going to turn that off because I like seeing all the different environments. God, it was on. But in here, if you're feeling like the notes are too high to reach, toggle off automatic player height, and then you can just crouch down a bit, change your height, and it will completely change where the notes are. And you can just do that until they're at a good height. I'm going to do automatic player height. If you are left-handed, because most of the songs are meant to strain your dominant hand more than your non-dominant, definitely turn that on. And if you're having trouble with your non-dominant hand, you can also switch that to the opposite of what you have by default, because it'll strain that more as there will be more notes for that hand. For environment effects and Expert Plus environment effects, you can have these as for both of them. I'd recommend having no effect, as it shows no lighting effects, which can sometimes be distracting. Trail intensity can be whatever you want. Don't have that on unless you just completely don't care about your score. If you are finding yourself looking at your combo or score too much, turn that on. Help you not look at it too much. Advanced HUD. This pretty much just shows you your rank and accuracy, and along with the timer for the song. Reduce debris. So I'm going to turn that off and go on to this song. Now, this is what it looks like with reduced debris off. See, when I slice the note in half, the note then turns into multiple pieces. But if I turn that on, it won't do that. It just turns into sparks. Hide note spawning effect. This is another lighting thing that can tend to distract you a bit from looking at the notes. Basically, when the note spawns in, there will be a light showing you the color of it, and it can sometimes be a bit distracting. These are all of my settings that I have. That's about it for the settings. For the actual gameplay, you're going to want to find a grip that you find good. If you're decent with, or if you're good with the default grip, just holding it normally, then you can just use the default grip. You can get decently fast movements with it. As long as you're good with it, you can get pretty accurate. But for me, I've found that the controllers do tend to strain my wrist a bit more because I have to turn it at weird angles to get vertical up and down rotation. So I'm using the claw grip, which is basically I put my index and middle finger through the ring on my controller as I'm using the Quest 2. And that lets me do these movements a lot more naturally. And along with that, there's not as much weight on the front of my hands, so it kind of makes it easier for me to swing better because it makes the controllers a bit lighter. So if you're on the Quest, then you have a lot of choices, like the claw grip, but if you're on something like, I think the Valve Index, it doesn't have that type of controller like this. It has a really long controller to be able to fit every single finger, and I'm pretty sure there's a bit of sliding room, so it's not as easy to do the claw grip on that. So some grips are limited to certain controllers. That's about it for those tips. In-game, you're definitely going to want to... In-game, you're definitely going to want to... On faster parts, you're going to want to use a lot more wrist, as it won't be as tiring, so you'll be able to do it for longer. Along with that, you can get faster movement than if you're using your entire arm, because if you're rotating your elbow, then it's a bigger arc to do the same thing that you're doing with your wrist. And on slower sections where there's not as many notes, and you can get more accuracy by using your entire arm, because you can be a lot more accurate, while if you try and do something with your wrist, it might be a bit wobbly. That's about it. I'm going to play a song.
We're playing Beat Saber.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you how I play with normal grip, and then I'm going to show you how I play with claw grip. And I did start out with claw grip, or with normal grip. But I did switch to claw grip, as I found my wrists tend to hurt a lot after playing with normal grip.
I got unlimited power. I got the power. I got unlimited power. Running the game, we are not playing the same. I was just going insane. From red to blue, from blue to red, the liquor from red from overhead. We're playing.
One of my problems with the default grip is my sabers tend to be angled towards the center a lot more than when I use the claw grip, so I tend to hit the wrong notes a lot. So I have to like turn my wrist a lot to account for that.
I'm coming.
But I'm gonna do the same song, but with claw grip.
We're playing. Yeah, I got the power.
Feels a lot better.
I got the power. I got
my sabers are a lot straighter. So this is just the reasons I like the claw grip. You don't have to use it.
We are not playing the same. I was just going insane. From red to blue, from blue to red, the liquor from red from overhead. We're playing.
And at first, if you're trying to switch grips, you're definitely not going to be as good with the new grip as you are with the one you're currently using, because you have literally no muscle memory for any of the songs, and you're not going to be used to how to move your arms and wrists to properly hit the notes. I'm not going to get an S rating because I'm distracted by talking. I am going to finish the song this time.
I'm coming closer, victory is mine. I'm making history, it's time. I'm living this moment, living the only, giving up only when my score is higher. Can I find one better than me?
Also, I'm not sure how the microphone quality is on this, because I'm recording with the default Quest C microphone. I've never heard how that records, because I usually have a headset record that plugs it into my headset Pro. Luckily, it's a replaceable one.
I got the power, I got unlimited power.
Oh, also, you might not want to use headphones for Beat Saber, especially wired ones, because there's been many times where I've been doing really good and then failed the song all because my arm got stuck on the headphone cord. So I wouldn't recommend using wired headphones that have too long of a cable. But yeah, that's it for this video. Also, it's mostly going to be VR content for a while, mainly because my computer sucks and will not record without going at 1 FPS. And my phone has literally no storage, so I can't do anything on mobile. So, probably going to be VR content for a while. Tell me what VR games you want me to play. I have Job Simulator, I can do the Vader Immortal series. I can do more Beat Saber. Just tell me, I'll tell you if I have it. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.